Assalamualaikum students. I hope you all are fine. Here I am with lecture number 9, that is unit number 6. It's a poem by Langston Hughes, first year English compulsory. This is your teacher Sumaira Zahir from Army Burnhall College for Girls. First of all, about the writer, the poet Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes' full name James Mercer Langston Hughes, born February 1st, 1901 and died on May 22, 1967. He was an American poet, social activist, novelist, playwright, and a columnist from Joplin, Missouri. He moved to New York City as a young man, where he made his career. His occupation was he was a poet, columnist, dramatist, and essayist. He got his education from Lincoln University. This is a beautiful description of your poem. If you look at the title is Mother to Son. So obviously the mother is giving a piece of advice to her son, and this depiction of the staircase, it will give you an idea that the poem is about what. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. Ain't been here stands for has not been. It has had tacks in it, and splinters, and boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the time, this stands for I have been. I have been a climbing on, and reaching landings and turnings, corners, and sometimes going in the dark, where there ain't been, has not been, no light. So boy, don't you turn back, don't you sit down on the steps, 'cause you finds it's kind of hard. Kind of hard. Don't you fall now, for I am or I have been still going, or I'm still going, honey. I have been or I am still climbing, and life for me has not been no crystal stair. So this is the depiction of crystal stair. It has not been like crystal stair for me, my life. First of all, summary of the poem. Mother to Son is a straightforward and politically relevant poem structured in the form of a dramatic monologue spoken by the persona of a black mother to her son. The mother advises her son that he will face many adversities in life, all of which he must overcome and keep going. The poet uses the staircase metaphor to represent life. The mother to whom life has not been kind reminds her son that life is not a crystal stair. Rather, it is packed, though, with tacks and splinters. Tacks usually means nails, and splinters are broken pieces of glass or any sharp wood or any other thing. Through this, she wishes to convey him that journey of life more closely resembles a long, trying walk up the dark, decrepit stairways of a tenement than a glide down a crystal stair. The crystal stair is a metaphor for the American dream and its promise that all Americans shall have equal opportunities. The mother warns her son not to expect an easy climb or a tangible reward. Through the metaphor of ascent, however, the speaker suggests that her endurance, the power to bear, and struggle are necessary to progress toward racial justice, racial indiscrimination which is residing there. Like this is black and you are black and I am white, and all these things are called racial indiscrimination. And to maintain spiritual hope and faith. In this poem, Hughes affirms the personal, collective, and spiritual importance of struggle, endurance, and faith. Analysis of literary devices in Mother to Son. Like all the literary devices that are used in the poem. Literary devices are tools that enable the writer to present their ideas, emotions, and feelings with the use of these devices. Langston has also employed some literary devices in this poem to show the courage and optimism of a mother. Optimism means hopefulness. The analysis of some of the literary devices used in the poem are as below. First of all, assonance. Assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds. I hope you know what are the vowel sounds. A, E, I, O, U. The sounds starting with A, E, I, O, U are called vowel sounds. In the same lines such as the sound of O in so, boy, don't you turn back. Repetition of the sound O. So this is called assonance. Consonance is the repetition of consonant sounds in the same line such as T and R where there ain't been no light. When T is repeated, this is consonant sound. Imagery is used to make readers perceive things, like when you are reading to you, it seems as if you are seeing the way the poet is seeing towards things with their five senses. For example, life for me has not been no crystal stair, and places with no carpet on the floor, and don't you sit down on the steps. So you can visualize, you can see as if you are looking towards those stairs about which the writer is telling you. Illusions. Illusion is a belief and an indirect reference to a person, place, thing, or an idea of historical, cultural, political, or literary significance. He has used this device in the opening line of the poem, such as crystal stair. Crystal stair refers to Jacob's stair from the Old Testament in the Bible. Jacob, Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam. Metaphor, it is a figure of speech in which an implied comparison is made between objects of different nature. Langston has used an extended metaphor to compare the mother's love to a staircase throughout the poem. Symbolism. Symbolism is using symbols to signify ideas and qualities, giving them symbolic meanings different from literal meanings. Similarly, staircase symbolizes hardships of life. It also symbolizes the life that we spend. Enjambment. Enjambment refers to the continuation of a sentence without a pause. Like without a pause, the sentence is continuing into, for example, from one line it is continuing into the other line. Beyond the end of a line, a couplet, two line stanza or two lines, and a stanza, usually a stanza is of 4 lines, such as don't you sit down on the steps. So this idea is continued here because you find it's kinder hard. So this is enjambment. Free verse. Free verse is a type of poetry that does not contain any specific patterns of rhyme or meter. Mother to Son is a free verse. We call it Azad Nazam in Urdu. And it's a free verse poem which does not follow any rhyme scheme and stanza pattern. Then stressed and unstressed syllables. Syllables, a word is broken into usually 2 syllables. One is usually stressed and the other is not stressed. These 2 types of syllables are used in Trochee, such as the first is stressed and the second is unstressed syllable in Mother to Son, for example, and this pattern continues throughout the poem, such as life for me ain't been no crystal. Life for me is not stressed, ain't been no crystal. This is stressed one. One is stressed and second is unstressed. So life for me and being no crystal. One is stressed, other is unstressed. Repetition. There is a repetition of the line, life for me has not been no crystal stair, which has created a musical quality in the poem. It has also created rhetorical impacts in the poem. Refrain. Refrain, the lines that are repeated again and again, this is called refrain in poetic language. For example, the line, life for me, is repeated again and again, so this is a refrain. Major themes. In Mother to Son, hardship, hope, courage are the major themes. The poem explores the dignity and determination of a person when facing problems. The speaker compares her life to rugged staircase, rugged, not smooth, very broken or hard or not easy to climb up, and conjures up an idea that one should not give up. This is mother's advice to son, that life is full of difficulties and hardships, but we must not give up. We must keep on struggling and reaching our destination. She says that life is full of tests, challenges, and confusion, and a person should confront with courage and determination. Throughout the poem, she instructs her son to continue his struggle with patience, resilience, and hope, giving her own life's example. Langston Hughes teaches a lesson to those people who get scared of hardships in life and lose hopes to overcome from their hardships. This poem demonstrates that if we have strong determination and courage, then we can win any race in this world, no matter how rough the way is. The mood of mother to son is of optimism, like she is totally giving a message or a lesson of optimism, hopefulness in the face of hardships and sadness. The poem starts off, it seems, on a note of resignation, that is, well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. Speaker of the poem. In the poem, Langston Hughes uses the poetic device of an extended metaphor to emphasize the life of the mother. The extended metaphor is a device in which the author uses one analogy and links it to another by using metaphors. You have read about extended metaphor in your previous poem as well, Good Timber. The metaphor compares the life of the mother to a crystal staircase. It means that mother is telling her son that she has faced a lot of problems in her life. Problems were tough, like climbing on a mountain, but she never gave up in her life. She kept on marching ahead and never gave up. So same she wants from the son as well, to keep on marching and never give up. This is the piece of advice which we all always give you, and your parents also, they always give you this advice that you should not give up. Keep on struggling and struggling and struggling. Using the analogy of a crystal stairway, this mother explains to her son that the journey of her life and life overall is like a stair that is diseased, worn out, torn, broken, very old staircase, and broken, containing small cracks, splinters, and torn up boards, rather a smooth, good-looking crystal stair. The crystal stair is used as a metaphor for the mother, for the life of mother. Theme. The poem has been written in the early 20th century when the African Americans were under oppression and racial injustice, and you might have seen from your news that even today these Americans are, especially black Americans or Negroes, they are still like suffering from racial injustice or indiscrimination in their country. In the poem, the mother teaches her son about strength and courage. She tells him that one must possess the courage to move forward in life in spite of all the difficulties that might come his way. So the main theme of the poem is that of perseverance to bear everything with patience. The poet passes the message that one must persevere to make his life better and not be discouraged by the adversities that one may have to face. Like we must keep on struggling and struggling. Okay, mother to son as a representative of reality. The poem comprises the thoughts of a mother whose life is surrounded by misery. However, she knows that the best means of combating these situations are her abilities to be strong. While talking about her experiences of life, she says that life has never been a crystal stair for her. It has gaps, splinters, and places without carpet. Despite these obstacles, she has managed to move ahead. She encourages her son to follow her to push through life. To her, optimism and ability to overcome the adversity are the only ways to get rid of obstacles in life, troubles in life, or hardships in life. What impresses the reader is the undaunted struggle, very hard and courageous struggle of a mother during her tough time of life. Major themes in Mother to Son are hardships, hope, courage. The poem explores the dignity and determination of a person when facing problems. The speaker compares her life to a ragged staircase and conjures up an idea that one should not give up. She says that life is full of tests, challenges, and confusion, and a person should confront with courage and determination. Throughout the poem, she instructs her son to continue his struggle with patience, resilience, and hope, giving her own life's examples. And now, what is symbolism in the poem Mother to Son by Langston Hughes? The poem Mother to Son uses a staircase as a symbol, and it symbolizes the hardships of the mother's existence as a black woman, especially as a black woman. Her metaphorical staircase of life has been difficult to climb. It has exposed tacks, splinters, gaps, and places where the carpet is completely worn out. It is not actual carpet, it is symbolically he has presented a carpet. Carpet here stands for her life was not easy, all full of troubles. The mother contrasts this rough staircase with a crystal staircase, saying, life for me has not been no crystal stair. The crystal staircase symbolizes an easy, affluent, sparkling life that is out of reach for most black people, while the rickety staircase the mother speaks of symbolizes a difficult life. The poem's main symbol is the rough staircase the mother climbs every day. It has, according to her, tacks in it and splinters and boards torn up and places with no carpet on the floor. She contrasts it to a beautiful staircase, saying repeatedly that it has my life. Nevertheless, the mother emphasizes that she keeps on climbing up and down the staircase and advises her son to do the same. She says to him, so boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps, because you find it kinder hard. The staircase the mother climbs up and down determinedly is an allusion to the staircase to heaven in the Bible. For a biblically literate audience, which is what Hughes could assume his black readership to be, the echoes behind the mother's words would resonate as a call to freedom. Let's look at the story of Jacob's ladder in Genesis 28, 12 to 15 lines, and read this biblical story in the context to the mother's words. He had a dream in which Jacob had a dream in which he saw a staircase resting on the earth, with its top reaching to heaven, and the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. There above it stood the Lord, and he said, I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham, and the God of Isaac, Ishaq alayhi salam. I will give you and your descendants the land on which you are lying. Your descendants will be like the dust of the earth, and you will spread out to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. All people on earth will be blessed through you and your offsprings. This is what he witnessed in the dream. In this context, the staircase takes on a new resonance that breathes hope, promise, aspiration into the black people who, like the oppressed ancient Israelites, are God's beloved children. No matter how dreary and splintered her staircase is, the mother is seeing herself as one of God's angels, ascending and descending it, and wants her son to be on that staircase, so that he too will receive God's blessing. Later in the poem, the mother again uses symbolism when she talks about the course of her life, reaching the landing, turning corners, and navigating in the dark, for example, are all symbols of the specific obstacles she has faced and overcome during the course of her life. Finally, in the first and the last lines of the poem, the word crystal has symbolic meaning. Specifically, the word suggests wealth, affluence, and luxury. It is used by the mother as a symbol of the life she hoped to have. The poem Mother to Son is an uplifting, hopeful poem about never giving up. The main symbolism in the poem is when mother compares her life to a staircase. She says, "Life for me has not been no crystal stair." By this she means that life has not been easy, and her journey through life has been like climbing a staircase. As a black woman, her journey has been hard, and as she describes it, the staircase she has had to climb has tacks in it, splinters, boards tore up, places with no carpet, and is bare as well. It has not been a smooth and easy journey of life, the kind of life that a crystal staircase would provide. Instead, the mother has led a life full of obstacles and hardships in her metaphoric climb up the stairs from birth to death. She is hopeful for her son and she encourages him to keep climbing like she has. She tells him in his own personal journey to not turn back or sit down on the steps. Like her, he must keep going and reach for what he wants in life. The staircase is symbolic of progressing through life and having the will to keep climbing. It is also a symbol for the journey we all take in life. Like in these days, some of our kids, some of our students, they are fed up of this online teaching. They are fed up of staying inside home. They are fed up of all this routine. So they want to get rid of it. Like they must be patient. One day, inshallah, everything will come back to its proper routine and normal life, inshallah, and we all be having all the enjoyments of life the way we used to have. So just we need a little patience. This is a picturesque example of the line, "Life for me has not been no crystal stairs." She's sitting on these stairs, and the stairs are going up, and life has been difficult for the speaker. She has had to struggle and work hard to survive and improve her circumstances. It's shown that I think she's sweeping the stairs or mopping the stairs, and she's black woman as well. Now, reference to the context, I have told you previously as well. Reference to the context means the name of the poet and the name of the poem. These, like you always write it, these lines have been taken from the poem Mother to Son, written by Langston Hughes, and the name of the poem is always written in inverted commas. The poem explores the dignity and determination of a person when facing problems. The speaker compares her life to a ragged staircase and conjures up an idea that one should not give up. This is the context. First two lines are this much is the reference and this is the context. Now, line by line explanation and analysis of Mother to Son. First, well, Son, I'll tell you, life for me has not been a crystal stair. Line 1 and 2. The poem's first line and title make it clear that the speaker here is a mother talking to her son. The opening word and caesura, this is pronounced caesura, a break between words within a metrical foot, this well and then comma. Well, comma, then make it sound like this speech is coming mid conversation, perhaps as a response to something the son has said. Like, well, it means as if son has said something and then the mother is saying, okay, well. It feels as if the mother is saying, look here. In any case, it's obvious right away that the speaker wants her child to pay close attention about what she is talking about, or about what she is going to tell him. Knowing the poem's context helps clarify what's going on here. Langston Hughes was a leading figure of the Harlem Renaissance, an explosion of black artistic output in New York in the 1920s. His work frequently focused on the black experience, and this poem is no different. The mother here is giving her son advice about how to survive and thrive in a racist society, and she bases this advice on her own experience. She uses an extended metaphor of rough staircase to emphasize how hard her own life had been to fight in order to be successful. That said, the poem does not explicitly mention race, which allows its message to be taken as a broader call for perseverance in the face of hardship as well. But back to that metaphor, the mother begins in line 2 by proclaiming these lines. Life for me has not been a crystal stair. The line repeats at the end of the poem in line 20 and thus serves as a kind of refrain. I have just told you, a line that is repeated again and again. It frames the poem, offering critical context for understanding the speaker's advice. The crystal stair symbolizes the privilege and power that white people enjoy in a racist society. Crystals are smooth, glamorous, and beautiful. The symbol thus suggests that white people can achieve their dreams without many obstacles. They climb easily toward their goals. But the speaker has not had any easy climb, a point she emphasizes in the actual sounds of the line. End stopped line. Mother to son uses a lot of end stopped lines. In fact, most of the poem is end stopped, with only a few enjambments here and there. These end stops play two important roles in the poem. Early in the poem, they help convey the severity of the obstacles and dangers that the speaker has had to overcome as a black woman in a racist society. Note, for instance, the end stops in a row in lines 3 to 6. It's hard tags in it. This is end stop line, punctuation mark coming before you. And splinters, another punctuation mark, comma, and boards torn up, comma, and places with no carpet on the floor, dash and then full stop, there and then full stop. Each of these lines describes a different danger the speaker has encountered. This is called, and this use of punctuation is called end stopped line. From sharp nails to missing boards in the steps, each of these details gets its own line, and each line is end stopped. The end stop encourages the reader to pause at the end of each line to reflect on each obstacle. The accumulation of these end stops thus emphasizes the depth and severity of dangers and difficulties. The speaker keeps climbing despite these obstacles, and later in the poem she uses end stop to convey her conviction, confidence, and resilience in the face of challenges she encountered. Note the end stops in line number 17 and 19 as well. Don't you fall now, for I have seen, I have been, still going. I see stands for I am, still going, honey. I am still climbing. In these lines, the speaker offers support to her son. She wants him to keep climbing and striving despite the obstacles, and she offers her example as encouragement. She is still climbing despite everything. Each of these lines is end stop line. The end stops underscore the speaker's conviction. The lines feel solid and definite with no room for equivocation or doubt. In other words, the speaker transforms the meaning of end stop as the poem proceeds, where it initially emphasizes the dangers that she has faced. By the end of poem, it emphasizes how strong she has become by facing all those dangers and hardships. Again, the first two lines, well son, up till stare. The poem opens with the mother speaking to her son, or like she is answering question that he might have asked. She explains to the son that life has never been easy. Here crystal stare symbolizes smoothness or beauty. The mother says her life has not been a smooth ride. Then in next lines, it's had tags in it up till bare. The words and phrases used in this stanza like tags and splinters and boards torn up and no carpet on the floor represent the difficulties and struggles or hardships that she had that one has to face. Tacks are nails and splinters are small sharp pieces that have broken off from wood or glass and can cause difficulty or hindrance for one's movement. The mother says she has faced a lot of troubles in her life while climbing up a staircase. This stanza also indicates the kind of poor houses and miserable living standards in the African American society in the early 20th century. Bare may also refer to the poor living conditions and lack of necessity. But all the time up till no light. In this stanza, the mother tells her son that despite all the difficulties, she has been climbing up the metaphorical staircase of life. Here, turning corners and going in the dark represents the fear and doubts that one has during times of uncertainty. There will be moments of indecisiveness and confusion, but one must continue to move forward and not give up hope and must continue struggle. So boy, don't you turn back up till kinder heart. The mother urges her son not to turn back and continue facing the challenges in life. She tells him not to be disappointed when he faces difficulties and not to settle down with it. He must rather face them and keep pushing forward. The mother tells him that the adversities that come in his way should not dampen his spirit and he must continue to strive for a better life. Don't you fall now up till crystal stare again. The mother tells her son that despite all the difficulties he faces in life, he should not feel disappointed or lose hope. Falling off the staircase may also indicate being misled. The mother advises her son to not to be misled and choose the wrong path during difficulties. The mother sets her own example by saying that she is still walking on the path and climbing that metaphorical staircase of life. She has not stopped and she has not given up. So, moral of the poem is life is not a bed of roses. Obviously, you have to work, you have to struggle a lot if you want to make it a comfortable bed of roses for you. And then, no pain, no gain, no gal, no glory, no cross, no crown. Like unless you work hard or you struggle hard, you will not reach your glory or you will not get your aim or your goal. So this is all for it. I hope you are going to enjoy the poem and we will discuss the remaining questions of the exercise on our WhatsApp group. So keep in touch. Until then, goodbye, good day, Allah Hafiz.